Hello, Andrew here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my Premier League preview for weekend started on the 20th of October. So, on to the first game. Chelsea versus Manchester United. Well, Chelsea still haven't lost in the Premier League. A nice comfortable win before the international break against Southampton 3-0. And Man United, what a comeback they had against Newcastle. They were 2-0 down in 14 minutes, and before you know it, second half, once they got the first one, you always felt that Man United could go on and win it, and that's what they did. They've had a mediocre start to the season, United, but they're still only 7 points off of Man City. Everyone's calling for Mourinho's head and stuff like that. But the thing about it is, he did ask for two defenders and he never got them at the beginning of the season. But this would be a big test for both clubs today. Chelsea Man United is always a close game, either a 1-0 or a 2-1. So I mean, Sarri has really turned Chelsea around and given Hazard the free role that he has. He's just enjoying his football at the moment. Rudiger is expected to shake off the injury that he sustained in internationals and should play. So is Ross Barkley. Should be fit as well. They were Chelsea's two concerns. And Herrera should be back for United. But Man United, have got quite a few problems from internationals. Dalot, Fellaini, Matic, McTominay and Luke Shaw all could be out. But, there's a chance some of them could play, but not all. So, do you know what? You've got to go with Chelsea on this one. The way they've started the season, they're at home. I'm going to say 2-1 to Chelsea. Next game is starting with the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Sorry, is Bournemouth Southampton. The old derby. Bournemouth have started, not too bad of season. They're actually, they're only 4 points off the top at the moment. I know it's only 8 games in, but before the international break, they won 2-1 against Crystal Palace. And Southampton, they haven't really started the season yet. And this could be a tough game for them, to be honest. On the team news for both clubs, Bournemouth may be without Ryan Fraser. He had a hamstring problem, and Joshua King returned from international duty with an ankle problem. Charlie Daniels could be close to returning for them, but Kyle Taylor is still in his rehabilitation. Southampton, McCarthy withdrew from the England squad with a hamstring problem, so likely that he won't play. But other than that, that's the only injury worry that Southampton have. I have to go with Bournemouth on this one again. Do you know what? I'm gonna say 3-1 to Bournemouth. The next game is Cardiff versus Fulham. Cardiff are still one of the teams without a win in the Premier League. Against it was unconvincing from Tottenham, but they still won 1-0. And they've got Fulham, who started the season alright, but now they're leaking quite a lot of goals. The 5-1 against Arsenal, Fulham will want to bounce back from that, and Cardiff will see this as their first opportunity to get their first 3 points off the season. Oh, excuse me. So this one's a tough one to call. I mean, team news. Carney is nearing return for Fulham, but I don't think he will. And Joe Bryan is still sidelined with a hamstring injury. A lot of hamstring injuries at the moment. Fusu Mensah should be back, and Aaron Gunnarsson could return for Cardiff from his knee injury, but Cardiff will be without Joe Wales after the red card against Tottenham. So, do you know what? I'm going to go with a Cardiff win. I'm going to go 1-0 to Cardiff. I think they'll finally get their 3 points. So, the next game is Manchester City versus Burnley. Well, another team that are, haven't lost this season and should have beat Liverpool. If it was their one chance to beat us at Anfield since 1981, before the international break, we wasn't at it, wasn't at the races. We gave them a penalty, could have given 2 penalties, and Mahrez, I think that ball is still travelling, into space. Sooner or later, someone up there is going to find that ball and go, oh, that's the ball that Mahrez kicked. Yeah, that penalty was diabolical. But they go against a Burnley team today that haven't been doing too bad, but they're up against high-flying Man City. And at home, Man City score goals for fun. Going into the team news, Defoe could return for Burnley. He's been out with a serious knee injury. Tarkowski withdrew from England duty for a groin niggle, but will play. Nick Pope and Ben Gibson, Royal Brady, they're all making good progress. But Stephen Wall is still sidelined for several weeks, so they've got quite a few injuries. Burnley. Gundogan will not be able to play. He's still injured. Fabian Delph could return, and a late fitness test for Kevin De Bruyne on whether he will start as well. So the thing is, you expect Man City to dominate this game, and I don't expect anything different. I have to go with at least a 3-0 win to Manchester City. Newcastle versus Brighton. Brighton, they beat West Ham 1-0 in the Friday night football before the international break. And as I say, you heard me earlier, Newcastle, they threw a 3-0 lead away, which, not 3-0, 2-0 lead, which they will be really disappointed with. They still haven't got their first 3 points. At home, against Brighton, Rafa's got to be looking at 3 points here. He has to be. The team news, Paul Dummett should be back. Salomon Rondon should be back. Brighton will be out without them with Davy Propper. He suffered an ankle injury in the victory against West Ham. But Pascal Gross could be involved after an ankle problem, most probably starting the bench. But Dale Stephens and Gaëtan Bong both face late fitness tests. Well, as I say, Newcastle need to start sorting it out, and they need a win. And I mean, Brighton have been playing well, but at home you expect Newcastle to win this game. They played well against Manchester United. If they played like they did against Man United for the first half, they've got a very good chance of winning the game. I'm going to say they get it. I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle. Newcastle get their first 3 points as well. The next game is West Ham versus Spurs. Well, West Ham, we all know how their season started. They started to pick up some points recently. But then they lost to Brighton before the international break, and Spurs unconvincingly beat Cardiff. It's a London derby. We all know what happens in London derbies, anything. The team news for both Dele Alli and Danny Rose and Jan Vertonghen all will miss out. And Marko Arnautovic is set to be available. Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to say a Tottenham... Ooh, I don't know. Do you know what? I think West Ham might just be able to nick this one. I'm going to say 2-1 to West Ham. The next game is Wolves versus Watford. Wolves have had a cracking start to the season. Yeah, they've lost a few or drawn, but if you offered Wolves 15 points after 8 games, that's a fantastic start for them. I mean, Watford have done well as well. I mean, they're on 13 points from 8 games. Before the international break, Watford lost 4-0 to Bournemouth. That was a shock. That was an absolute shock, that was. And they were at home as well. And Wolves won 1-0 against Crystal Palace. Do you know what? When I said earlier that Bournemouth beat Crystal Palace 2-1, I made a mistake. Bournemouth actually beat Watford 4-0 before the international break. So my apologies there to anyone who watches as Bournemouth fan. That was a cracking result for you. But yeah, going back to it, Wolves and Watford. Do you know what? With Wolves being at home, the way they've started, I think that they will most probably win this one. But the news, Christian Kabasele and Holebas will both be suspended for Watford, and Chalobah is doubtful after feeling discomfort in his knee. Navarro has recovered, and Janmaat and Tom Cleverley both continue their rehabilitation. Deulofeu could be back. It's a late fitness test, and Wolves are likely to be unchanged. For the team that's been playing so well at the moment in the Premier League. So, do you know what? I have to go with another Wolves victory here. Do you know what? I'm going to say 2-0 to Wolves. The next game after that is Huddersfield versus Liverpool. So, after a poor showing at Manchester City, a very poor showing. We were at home, so against Manchester City, it was a very poor showing from us. Not as bad as the Napoli one, but it still wasn't. It wasn't great. We were there for the taking, and Huddersfield, they drew 1-1 with Burnley. The team news is Salah and Mane are in contention. All depends on late fitness tests. Mane broke his thumb, had hand surgery on Wednesday, and Mohamed Salah pulled a slight hamstring. I mean, I know they're saying contention, but a slight hamstring pull, it's a risk, especially the way he runs down that wing a lot. We can make it worse than what it is. Virgil van Dijk continued to play with his rib problem, and James Milner could feature, although he pulled a hamstring against Manchester City. Although, in my opinion, I wouldn't risk Milner or Mohamed Salah. It's against Huddersfield, a game that we should win quite comfortably and get back to winning ways. Nothing against Huddersfield, but on paper, you know, we're in contention for the title. We have to be winning these games despite injuries, no excuses. Huddersfield, Philip Billing is hoping to be fit to play. And Mbenza and Tommy Smith, Congolo and Dali Williams are all set to miss out. So this one, I have to go with my team. I know, I mean, in international break, hopefully it's done us good. I'm going to say 3-0 to Liverpool. So the Sunday games, starting with... Oh no, there is no Sunday games. What am I on about? Or is there? Oh no, there is. There's one Sunday game. Everton versus Crystal Palace. Everton got a 2-1 win against Leicester before the international break, and Crystal Palace lost 1-0 to Wolves. I mean, Everton have been playing pretty well, but they lack consistency. They play well in games, and in other games they just drop off. Yeremina, Gomez and McCarthy could all be back following late fitness tests. Max Meyer and Sorloth will basically, they've got viral infections, so will not play. Benteke is still recovering for surgery on his knee. Joe Ward, Scott Dan, Connor Wickham are all short of match fitness, likely to be out still. So, I mean, with that said, I think Everton should win this game, being at home. I'm going to say 3-0 to Everton. Also, with Real Hood Saha, a late fitness test as well. If he don't play, Crystal Palace never win without him. So, that's almost a certainty. And the final game is on Monday. And that is Arsenal versus Leicester City. Well, Arsenal, they enjoyed themselves against Fulham. Could have been more if they really wanted it to be. It was quality from their attack, and their defence seems to be slowly getting it right as well. Leicester, as I say, they lost 2-1 against Everton. The team news: Ozil should return. Welbeck has also shrugged off an injury. Socrates and Peter Cech will both face late fitness tests to see whether they'll be able to play. Koscielny is still sidelined. Niles could be back in contention after he fractured his leg against Manchester City early on in the season. For Leicester, Ben Chilwell will return, but Wes Morgan suspended after his red card against Everton. Damari Gray and Matty James are still injured. So, Arsenal, I think, should come away with comfortable winners here. But you always expect Leicester to score when they've got Jamie Vardy in the side, so I'm going to say 3-1 to Arsenal. So, that is my Premier League preview for the weekend. Please like and subscribe to my channel, and I will speak to you all before the Liverpool game later on today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.